I'm Lindsay Adler, and I'm a portrait and fashion photographer based in New York City. So growing up in a rural area, small town, you know, there's chances that there's not much to do, but my family, we found things to do together. And so my mother, my aunt, and my grandmother were all hobbyist photographers. So it was really cute. My earliest memories, like pre-teen even, of my whole family together, we'd all have cameras and we'd walk around and take pictures of the trees or the cows or like whatever was around. And so it was something that I did to bond with the women in my family. By the time I was 15, I already had a photography business. I pretty much committed to being a photographer by 12. And so I've spent most of my life in pursuit of one thing. The exception to that is when I started off, I shot anything and everything that was in my environment, which in that case, it was upstate New York. So I was photographing nature, and I did weddings and maternity and a lot of that sort of stuff. And it wasn't until I went to college that I took a class on the Masters of Fashion Photography, and I saw it and go, oh, I didn't realize this is what I'm supposed to be doing. My specialties are fashion and beauty photography, and my personal style is a clean, bold, graphic image. But one of the things that's most important to me is when I photograph women, I try to portray them in a way that is strong and elegant. I don't do soft, quiet, demure, and you see that in my lighting and in my posing and in my styling. And I also try to portray women the way that I would want to be shown. And I want to show my strength and the strength of other women I photograph. One of the terms that I use often to describe one of my goals in photography is nowadays to be scroll stopping. Because if you're looking at Instagram or really whatever social network it is, people are just scrolling. I know I do. And it's not 2 seconds, 1 second, it's a millisecond that you get to capture someone's attention. So I use all of the tools at my disposal to try to get someone to stop and look twice. And so that's why my imagery tends to be bold and ideally captivating, is because I only have that split second to make them look again. All right, so let's start with the essentials of the gear that I use most often. So my camera of choice is, first of all, I'm a Canon Explorer of Light, but I've been shooting with the Canon R5. And there are really pretty much 3 lenses that you'll see on my camera most of the time. I use a 24-105 for anything that's full length to a mid-length shot. And then when I've got to crop in, get a little bit tighter, I'll grab a 70-200, super versatile. But even then it might not be quite as close as I need to be. And so then I grab a 180mm macro so I can get just the lips or just even part of the eye. I remember when I first started shooting portraits and I discovered prime lenses and I could see what a wide aperture would do. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is magic, this is incredible. But as my styles evolved and I'm shooting in the studio, a lot of times I'm on clean backgrounds, my imagery is bold and graphic, and so the narrow depth of field isn't necessarily part of the storytelling or image creation process. So I've just gravitated more towards shooting at, like f11 and zoom lenses. So lighting is one of the things that I get most excited about in photography. I honestly feel like it's tangible, it's delicious, beautiful lighting. I want to bite it, it makes me so excited. The studio gear that I use are a variety of ProPhoto strobes, and then every modifier known to man, because there's just a tool for the job, right? So at times I want to have a huge soft light source and it's an extra large umbrella with diffusion, or it's an 8x8 foot scrim. And then other times it's a bare bulb with no modifier for super hard light. Over the years have pretty much grabbed every modifier I could, and you'd be surprised, yes, there are some I use more than others, but I get excited to go, I haven't pulled out that Magnum reflector in a little while. Let me grab that, and it inspires me. There can be a billion people that have a camera, can make decent exposures, but that's not what makes the great photographers. I think a good photographer can take technically competent photographs, but a great one says something with those photographs. And so there's a concept, and there's a style, and there's a message, there's a personal voice. And so once you find that voice and that style, you don't have to worry about the other billion photographers out there. There's only one you. I love to teach. I love to save people time. It took me a long time, not just to get good, but to get even decent. And I try to speed that up for people and help them get much better, much more quickly. And one of the things I like about creating and shooting is that when I teach, I give away my secrets, and then I better go learn new secrets. I am constantly pushing myself to discover something new, then I pass on that thing and I'm never bored. Like I don't think I'll ever be like, yes, I know everything there is to know in photography. And I think that motivates me to keep pushing myself endlessly. My favorite photograph is not about it being the best one. It's about the one where I found my style. I was in college and I went online, I think it was eBay, and I bought these cyberpunk glasses, they're red and white, and I put them on a classmate. I went down to the local pharmacy, got a red lipstick, put her lipstick on, and the resulting image is a clean, bold, graphic, colorful image. And when I shot it, I was like, there's something here. And it's kind of when I found my photographic voice. And so I've shot red, white, clean, bold, and graphic a million times since then, and I'm just as inspired by those ideas as I was creating that image so many years ago. One of the pieces of advice I'd probably give myself if I were first starting out and trying to build my career is you will not make everyone happy, and that's fine, and you shouldn't. Because if you have a voice and you have a unique vision, not everybody is interested in that vision. But when you really commit to it and you develop that style, you attract the people who like it to you. And so if you shoot images that you try to please the most people and the broadest audience, you'll be very forgettable because you blend in with a million other people. And so I would encourage myself to try to find a style earlier. I didn't even know what style meant. And so it was quite long into my professional career before I figured out what my own voice was.